Cameron, lots of people want to start a business. They want to earn a little extra money, maybe start a side hustle, something that comes up quite a bit. What is your killer $1 billion advice on how to start a business?
Okay, so I did a history degree, right? So I know everything that's happened in humanity's entire story, right? I know
That's
every
true.
single thing. I know everything. It has never been easier in the history of our species to start your own business than it is right now. That would be my claim. And I'm not the only one who says this. Luminaries such as Caleb Jones have shouted this at you in his fatherly voice. People like Alex Hormozy have told you this. People who are trying to sell you shit have told you this because it's in their interest. People who aren't trying to sell you shit have told you this. It's one of those things that is completely fucking true. You can go and download a little bit of software and you suddenly have the ability to talk to thousands of people. You don't even have to buy it. You can just start a thing for free where you can talk and sell stuff to thousands of people. The I guess the only thing that's stopping you is going to be, well, what is stopping you, man? Like whoever's watching this, I think you know what Andy and I are going
Thinking
to
that
say.
it's thinking that it has to be a big deal. That this is the number one
Yeah,
reason why
yeah,
people don't start their goals is because they think, oh, there's a big mountain that I have to climb in order to be successful. And it's like, no, start the first step. Do
yeah. They
one
have
thing now.
they have an idea of what it has to be, but the first
And
few steps are not going to look anything like that. You're not like if you're picturing like the maybe I don't think some people maybe people are thinking about online businesses or whatever, but they're maybe thinking of like oh I need to have a YouTube channel with like millions of
mm,
subscribers or something like that, and like I'm not going to just suddenly get that like out of nowhere. It's like no, you're not. Like you're not going to get that suddenly out of nowhere unless you're incredibly lucky or incredibly like secretly talented in a way that you don't know. That is true, but you can make money online. We're not telling you you're going to be Mr. Beast. We're telling you that you can start a business that will create something that someone will pay you actual money for. Is what we're saying. Like it's a very
also,
low bar.
Mr. Beast was not born Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast took a series of baby steps over a very long time, especially if you go and watch the early videos on his
Yeah,
channel.
yeah.
And he took a lot of action slowly over many years until it didn't, it's not just one day, it slowly increased over time. He slowly built up subscriber by subscriber. Ever since he was literally in school, he
Mm-hmm.
had a YouTube channel and he was slowly building that bitch up.
It's
Yeah,
amazing to
people
go
put
back.
this.
You've spoken about this before, but going back to YouTubers who blew up and like going back is like one of your favorite
Look
things
at
to
their
do.
oldest videos. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And you
Yeah.
don't have to do
Another
YouTube.
really great one I love is Marquise Brownlee or MKBHD.
Is
Hate
he
his
tech?
channel name so much. Yeah, the tech guy. The tech guy.
Yeah.
If you go and watch his early videos, he's a little kid. He's like 12 years old. It's fucking adorable, man. And he's like reviewing a TV remote control as like one of, and he's like, okay, so this is like the LG Universal remote, and it's like really good, and like it has all these buttons, and like that's his fucking 20-minute or 10-minute video. That's how he started his content, like reviewing a TV remote. Like that's not interesting content. It's adorable content, but it's not great content. You slowly build this stuff up. And when it comes to a business, people will go, oh, but like I can't build a business or I can't make $1,000 or several $1,000s a month. It's like, yeah, stop, humble yourself, make $1. That was my goal with my blog. Like after about a year of doing my blog, doing my website, I was like, I want to earn $1. It took me like 7 months to earn that dollar, mostly because I was too terrified to actually just ask anyone for a dollar. I was like, I wasn't I put all this pressure on myself, but I earned $1. Then, okay, can I earn $10? Can I earn 100? Can I charge $5 an hour? Then can I charge $10? Can I charge 20? And I slowly put my prices up over time. I slowly built a YouTube channel and a podcast and the website and slowly built a coaching program, little bits at a time, one brick at a time. But people don't humble themselves enough when it comes to business or any goal, really. And so they will make this classic mistake, man. Like here's how I get people to start a business in like who come to us to start a business. I will say right now, I want you to go outside and I want you to ask people for money and come back or post again when you've earned your first dollar. And so they'll go out and they'll literally just ask strangers, almost like you're a homeless person. Can I have a dollar? Can I have a dollar? Can I have a dollar? Or can I take a photo of you and you give me $5? Like, can I do something for you for a little bit of money? They'll come back and they do that. But the number one thought that they have, or the worry that they have, the argument that they have is like, yeah, but I can't build a business going up to strangers on the street asking for money. And it's like, yeah, for fuck's sakes, like stop worrying about scaling. That's called scaling, like scaling up a business. Stop worrying about scaling up a business when you haven't earned your first dollar. And people do this all the time, man. They're like, oh, well, I couldn't build a big successful business. Yeah, I couldn't build a big successful business doing that. It's like, humble yourself. Start with that. Literally start with the smallest possible baby step. Go ask strangers for money. You know,
Andy's not lying here either. Andy had the photographer I'm thinking of, who you just hit as many people up as you know, ask them if they can pay me some money for photography. That's what you said to this guy. And he went out and earned, I think it was like $600 in like a couple of weeks just off photography.
Yeah.
And then he managed to find this guy managed to find a dating coach who wanted a regular photographer to work with for his clients.
And they paired together. Yeah.
And they built he had a referral. And then he had a referral client. He's
earning several $1,000s a month now. Wait, are you talking about Joe, or are you talking about I'm pretty sure they've both been on. So Marcus
both are like both done the same way. Yeah, both did the same way. Marcus did the same thing as Joe. Joe actually a little bit different because he's like marketing himself with SEO. But yeah, Marcus, like fucking all he did was like go and ask people, can they do photography for them? And then he went up to it, and he got this agreement with the dating coach. So it might sound weird that Andy's telling you to just go and ask people for money. Or ask people for money for another guy we had was guitar, like asking guys, do they want to learn guitar? And that was another guy, can I teach you guitar? Like literally in the street, can I teach you guitar?
Yep.
And like the point of this to some degree is more building up, it's like your confidence in your skills. That's the whole point of this exercise. You know what I mean? It's building up the skills and just your ability to ask people for money, because you have no idea how much that's going to be like an obstacle, like my resistance to just asking people for money. That is literally
how you build any business. You ask for money. You cannot build a business without asking for money. The only exception I would say to that is if you do something that gives so much insane value that people throw money at you.
Yeah.
Like, which is basically how we've built the channel. But that still requires us to ask for money.
That's why I don't
say,
respect...
I'm offering this. Can you give me money for it?
I'm going to say something that's a little bit harsh. There's a kind of person who wants to build a YouTube channel and earn money and earn a living off ad revenue because it's easier for them to do this because they don't have to ask for the money. Because they just have to build something where they get paid passively. It's a lot easier for people. It seems a lot easier for people to come up with this idea of making something so big that they just earn a little bit of passive income.
You can that. I see
channels.
Likely going to take 5 to 10 years.
I don't disagree, but these people are missing the point that a channel with like 4,000 subscribers can make a 6-figure income off of it if you have the right. If you by just asking for money like you did. You were making a 6-figure income.
That when I only had 500 subscribers.
Yeah,
to make
exactly.
Your point even more so. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is the case. Like you don't need that many subscribers and views on YouTube to make a lot of money if you're in the right area with this stuff. And people don't have to be Sorry, I want to go back to the point and see, like, you don't have to be someone who makes content online. You don't have to even have an online business. Like we said, people are making the same money without having any online presence at all because they are just going up to people and or messaging people or emailing people and just asking them, can I provide you the service for money? And that's all really having a business where it's like a business of one is just that. It's just putting yourself out there as someone with an offering and asking for money in return. And if your idea of a business is like, I need to become famous and just have money thrown at me, I don't think it has as much chance of success. So we would push guys.
It's the same thing that a lot of men do with dating, where they're like, if I can just make myself into a god, how many of you listening have spent 5 years in the gym thinking that would be the thing that makes women just do all the work for you in dating? And obviously, the more you improve yourself, the more women will flirt with you, will be attracted, obviously. But we see so many guys that just spend years leveling up their game or their body or any of these kind of things, thinking that will just make women throw themselves at them. And then they won't ever have to say, would you like to come back to my apartment? Basically waiting for the woman to do all of the work. And it's maybe that happens 1 in 1,000 times, but wouldn't it be easier if you just learned how to say, I'm having a great time. Would you like to come back to my apartment with me? With that little simple change, suddenly it's 10,000 times easier. Same with the business. If you can just learn to say, hi, I'm offering this service. Would you like to give me some money for that? That's like 10,000 times easier than like what you're saying, where a lot of people build a almost like a very lazy business. It's not lazy. That's not the right word for it, but it is what you're saying. It's like, I
They're
think
almost
that's
putting
just
in
the
more
age
effort
of
than they
social
need to.
media.
They're almost putting more effort
Yeah,
than
like
they
they're
need to
actually
make
doing the
less
harder
money.
thing.
Yeah.
It's so much
Because they're too scared of asking
more
to
work.
sell something.
It's so much more work to build like an Instagram with like 2 million followers so that people will start giving you money. Because if you have 2 million followers, sure, people will start giving you money. Like
Yeah,
if
you'll
they're-
get like
especially on Instagram, you'll get
paid
offers.
promotion.
I
You'll
get offers
of
now.
like yeah. We get
I
offers
get
on the
offers
other
now.
thing
They're
that
not
we
good
do.
offers, but like, hey, here's some free sex toys. Would you like to review them? Like, hey, here's this.
That's so
and I
handy.
suspect that's only gonna. Yeah, I know. But I usually already own those toys.
You need to
so
get a
there's
Love Honey.
no
You need to get like
point.
a Love Honey partnership. That's what you need, mate.
I got a Satisfyer one many,
yeah.
many years ago, and they sent us like 12 different Satisfyer toys, and that was so nice of them, and I was so appreciative. We did a bit of content about it, and we were very honest. It's like, hey, they sent us all this. Isn't this cool? But the thing is, I already owned 2 Satisfyer toys at that point, so it was like, guys, I'm already on board. I already talk about your fucking vibrators all the time. Like, I appreciate you doing this. This is dope as fuck. So, like, big shout out to Satisfyer. But, like, yeah, anyway, sidetrack.
I just
I really
brokered, like-
appreciated that. That was cool of
I
them.
just brokered an affiliate deal, kind of affiliate / sponsorship deal for the clothing, for some clothing, a clothing line basically. And like, yeah, sweeten the deal. They'll send you free stuff. Like, and that was really cool.
But how
Like,
long
there's-
did all of this take to build? Like, understand that I've been doing this YouTube channel for 3 or 4 years at this point.
Yeah, 4
And
years is the
so
side of
it's-
the other the channel I help with is 4 years. Now that's
Yeah,
that we've
so it's
only
like-
just started getting offers now as well. Really, this is the
And
first
I'm
time,
not getting
first year.
offers that pay the bills. To be
Yeah,
clear,
yeah.
I'm not getting any sponsorships or anything like that. There's nothing. So I can't pay the bills from getting,
You have to sell something.
$200 worth of sex toys for free. Like,
Also, you want to sell
So,
stuff that
yeah.
you own and you keep 100% of. That's the other thing. Like that's the big thing about having a business is you want to keep as much of what you. Obviously, if you scale, it gets different. But at the beginning, I would recommend that guys have, this is what Caleb also recommends and other guys I follow recommend, but something with low overheads where you keep all of the money if possible when you're first
Yeah,
starting
like,
out,
that's why
because that
coaching
makes
is
it
great.
easier. Yeah.
teaching will always be my favorite if you enjoy it.
We know a lot of people who do
Which
home
most people
service
do.
as well. Like
Yeah.
home service is really good. Like we know quite a few guys who do roof cleaning and gutter cleaning and stuff like that. And that's actually a really easy business for guys to get started with if they don't want to do anything online and they're not going to move and they're not going to travel and they're happy to
A
stay where they
service
are.
is pretty much always the easiest, which is funny
Yeah.
because like there is a huge chunk of the internet that's dedicated towards like selling a product, and that tends to be the like in get rich quick marketing where people are like, hey, get rich really quick. A lot of the time they focus on selling a product, like drop shipping and all of
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
It's dumb.
Sorry,
Sorry
and
to say
I'm
it's
not
dumb.
I'm not the expert, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I know everything, but just if someone comes to me and says I want to start a business, I'm generally speaking going to gently encourage them to do some sort of service where you're giving up your time to get money, because especially at the start you can just work more. And yeah, there's a limit to that. You can't work more than 24 hours a day, and technically you need to sleep. So you're probably not going to work more than 16 hours a day maximum. I wouldn't work that much, but maximum. So there is a limit, but you can always sort of just do a little bit more, and then you can find ways to make more money. Anyway, that's like too far along the track. We're talking about how to start a business, and really the start is just go fucking start. Money literally is just going up to people and saying, can I have money? Here's what I'm offering. Some people will say yes. Every business is built on that. Like, and the way that they ask for money might be slightly different, but literally every business is like that. You walk into Walmart or a supermarket, you get your groceries, you go to the checkout, they say, can I have the money now, please? You can't leave with that stuff till I have the money. Can I have the money, please? Every business is built on that. Sometimes they take the money first, sometimes at the end, but it's always asking for money.
I would say it actually might be easier if guys don't call it business. I've decided this now in my head. Like, if you can just call
Like a
yourself
hustle.
self-employed, just call yourself self-employed for like a while. That's what I tell people. I tell people I'm self-employed. Like, I have like 2 businesses that I half own one and I completely own another, technically. But I would just tell people that I'm self-employed because it's easier. Like, it's easier to get your head around this idea that you're making money and you're not employed by someone. Like, that could be, or
Yeah,
a hustle,
I'm a big
side
fan
hustle is another way of
making
saying
things.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
a big fan of
downsize the
making
idea in
things
your
sound
head.
simple.
Yeah,
Yep,
downsize the
yep,
idea
yep,
in your
yep.
head a little bit. Just don't come up with this idea. You don't have to be fucking Elon Do you know what I mean? Like we're just encouraging people that want, basically, if you're stuck at your job, you don't want to be working for another person. That's a lot of people who come to us. A lot of people who are like in our community just know that they are not employees. They just know, like they're not suited to being in a corporate environment. And that's also no shade on the people who are. Like I know tons of guys who are completely fine being working in corporate, working for other people. They're completely okay with it. But this is really aimed at people who aren't. And if that's something that you really want, cool. You don't have to become giga millionaire Elon. You can start getting to a point where you just pay
With
the fucking
$1.
bills. Yeah, that. So $1, and then you get to the point where you can pay the bills from a side hustle, growing it to something that covers you, so you can quit your job. Like that's way more achievable. It's incredibly achievable. My parents are both self-employed. I know tons of people who are at my age who are also now self-employed. I know tons of people who started working for someone else, and then guess what? They took what they were doing and they went and did it on their own. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah, and they
Like
contract out their services.
yeah,
I have two friends that literally do that. They're
yeah.
computer like programmers, and they've literally just said, "Why are we working for other people? Why don't we just start a company? We don't have to do anything. We literally just sign the paperwork to say that we're now a company, and now we outsource to those companies. We get to keep all the money."
Yeah, even if, especially for younger guys, if you're like maybe you're looking at doing something like a lot of people who go into like carpentry and electrician work and plumber work, their eventual ideal is they're going to go off and work for themselves, you know, as a private contractor, and like 100%, like if you know you can't work for someone else, get into something that you know you can be a very successful private contractor in. And a lot of guys in coding do that, don't they? A lot of coders are private contractors. So just completely remove the idea that you need a business. That's my argument for this. And I know a lot of guys are being very aspirational about building a business or whatever like that. No, just start with being like self-employed. Start with being someone who is, you know, a private contractor, and then you could probably grow that into a business later, or think about, always have a plan of how can I replace myself in this, how can I hire other people, how can I make this mostly automated and stuff like that. And it's just a much easier, obviously go out and earn $1 on your own, 100%. That's a good thing to do. That's especially good for guys who don't know what they want to do. I think that's a great stepping stone. But
Yeah,
then even beyond
trying
that,
to learn the skills of making money, regardless
yeah,
of what you do to make it.
yeah, but even beyond that, we can simplify the next 50 steps too, to just being like, we're still staying small. Even you've earned your first dollar, we're still not jumping to Elon. We're still staying at relatively small as we grow, because you're going to scale. Scaling is pretty slow, I've found so far. I don't know about you. Like scaling is like a very interesting challenge in its own right. And generally, all the people I know who have scaled well have taken it step by step, you know, have taken it very like this is something that's going to require day by day micro steps forward. We keep going like 1% at a time, 1% at a time, building it up.
Yeah, and giving yourself permission to suck at every step, which is the key thing a lot of people miss when they're, and I've noticed that everyone that's successful that I look up to, you know, like the Gary V's, the Alex Hormozzi's, Dan Henry, the people who built like big businesses, Tony Robbins, they did it step by step. And there was a lot of humility involved, a lot of giving yourself permission to suck. You know, even someone like Jeff Bezos who built Amazon, I think I've shown you the picture of him when he first started the Amazon company. You've seen that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where he has he just got a bed sheet and he cut it in half, and with a spray paint, like a can of spray paint, he spray painted the word Amazon on the bed sheet and then hung it above his desk in his home in
It's
the
pretty
background.
punk rock. I can't lie. It's pretty fucking punk.
It's the most like amateur, it's the most amateur, like crappy thing. And he had basically no money, and he was saying to his wife, like, this is a gamble. Like, I've just spent the last of our money, or the last of my money, on all of these books here, and I think people will buy books. And then he was just shipping out these books from his home, and that's how Amazon was started. That's like giving yourself permission to suck. It sucks. You look at the picture, it's so fucking tacky. It's literally a bed sheet spray painted with the word Amazon in really awful handwriting. That's his company. That's not a fucking billion-dollar business. You wouldn't call that guy. If you saw that, you wouldn't think, wait, is this the guy that ends up being the second most richest man on the planet? Are you fucking kidding me? It's like, because he gave himself permission to suck. He didn't put this pressure on himself to build a business. In fact, he didn't even know if it could become a business. He just wanted to earn a little bit of money and be self-employed. He didn't like working for other people. And so if you can just humble yourself and say, I'll start with humble beginnings, and then great things will be born out of that,
Yeah.
then
My
something
my
beautiful happens.
my final point here as well would be don't put another belief in your head that whatever you start making money with will be the thing that you end up making money with as well. I want to be clear on this. I think we said to people, like, what you start doing may not be the thing you end up doing. And I think Hormozy said this a lot. Isn't it? I think, was it Hormozy that was
Gary
saying
Vee
this?
says the same thing. Yeah, they
Yeah,
say basically take all the pressure off yourself that you have to know what you're going to be doing 5 or 10 years from now.
yeah.
Just start making some money now. And as long as you're making some money, that's beautiful. It doesn't matter how you make it, as long as you're doing it ethically, obviously.
Yeah,
Or with
because
honesty and integrity.
Hormozy spends a lot of time talking about gym launch, but he doesn't do that anymore. Do you know what I mean? He like
Yeah.
he sold it to do other things, to do the acquisition stuff. And a lot of guys, Bezos is a bad example because he made Amazon work really well. But obviously, Amazon fucking went everywhere. Like they went into way different things. They are one of the big. I didn't realize they were one of the
They don't,
biggest
yeah.
website providers in the world. Like Amazon Web Services is like
Amazon is a
it's
tech
crazy.
company behind the scenes.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can
yeah.
buy, you can rent their servers, and they also hire a hell of a lot of like devs and tech guys
Yeah.
and programmers.
They're the
and
biggest
stuff
tech
like that.
company
They're
other
a
than
big tech
Microsoft,
company.
yeah. Other than Microsoft and Apple, they're the biggest tech company, right? Or they are the biggest
Amazon
tech
are a
company.
tech company up on top of just a distribution network, delivery network. There are a bunch of different things. Like basically people use Amazon for their web hosting and, you know, like data science and data shit like that. They also use them as a distribution network. Like you or I can sell through Amazon. Like
Yeah,
they're
I
a
know.
distribution network. They also happen to sell their own shit. I mean, fuck, with Prime and stuff like that, they're a Netflix competitor as well.
They have their own shops
Like,
now. They actually have their
yeah,
own
yeah,
stores,
yeah.
the Amazon stores, which is wild.
This is
They're
a
in the high
complete
street.
side tangent, but this fucking is so unbelievably cool that I want to insert this anyway. This is my agenda. Anyone Google Amazon like physical stores and have a look at the technology that they've put in there. You basically have an Amazon account and you link your credit card to that. You go into the supermarket. It's like a grocery store, like a supermarket. You can just grab whatever the fuck you want that you want to buy and leave. There's no checkout process because they're just hardwired up to like all of these different sensors and cameras, and they know how many items are on this thing, and they physically know that you grabbed that, and you just put it in your pocket. You don't even have to put it in a fucking shopping cart. You just literally grab it, put it in your pocket, and leave. And all of this and yeah, I read an in-depth like documentary about like people trying to like break it because obviously, you know, you'd think you can steal from that. It's like basically impossible to steal from it.
Wait,
It's
so can
like
you not
fucking
get
insane
into the
technology.
store? Can you not enter the store without an Amazon?
Yeah,
like,
so there's
thing?
fucking like gates and shit, and unless you have, it knows you from like facial recognition and shit like that. It knows like, oh, Cam doesn't have an account with us. Hey, sir, like we're gonna need you to sign up. So,
Do
yeah,
you know what's crazy?
crazy
Imagine
technology.
when we have the Neuralink chips, it'll be even weirder. It'll be even crazier tech that they come up with. When we have like the actual like ability to control technology with our minds, it's going to be mental.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
that got okay. Everyone, start a Neuralink chip business involving something. That's your goal. Don't worry about the dollar. Don't worry about being small. You're going to become a tech trillionaire. That's what you have to do. That's the
No,
that's the
but
closing
okay, you
statement on
jerk,
this.
man. How many fucking kids get excited, and not just kids, but people in their 20s and 30s too. But kids basically get excited by the glamour and the fanciness of the person who has made it. You know, the Instagram influencer, the YouTuber. And I heard something recently that someone said the number one answer that kids now give in school when they're asked, what do you want to be when you grow up, is a YouTuber, followed by like a streamer and influencer and things like that. So it's like, that's the most answer that people give. And it's like, okay, if I hit you with the dose of reality, okay, so you're going to have to work. I mean, I can't predict your future, but you're likely going to work on this for 5 or 10 years before you come as famous as you want to be. You are likely going to have to do several thousand pieces of content. You are likely going to have to embrace a whole lot of criticism, which a lot of people cannot handle, a whole lot of scrutiny. Even if you build yourself on honesty and integrity and kindness and compassion and love like we have, you're still going to get criticism, like a lot of it. There is a lot of vulnerability and a lot of insecurity that comes from putting yourself out there in the world. And ultimately, I'm very glad that you and I have embraced that, because I think that's ultimately helped us be a lot more stoic and a lot more compassionate of the human condition. But most people don't go into trying to be famous. They don't go into that with open eyes. They don't understand everything they're getting into. And they certainly don't form or try to form a loving relationship with their audience. It's very easy to become combative with the haters and stuff like that. And so understand that this is not necessarily, I mean, we love it. We will always encourage you to do it if you want to do it. But it's not a quick, easy money. Like becoming Mr. Beast is not easy. Mr. Beast has talked about that in so many podcasts where he's like, don't be me. Like understand that I'm a psycho. Understand that I work like 18 hours a day, 7 days a week until I burn. This is Mr. Beast literally from his mouth in podcasts. He says, my working strategy is I work until I collapse at night and I can't physically do anymore. And then I do that for as many days in a row as I can. Sometimes it's like 30 days in a row, sometimes more than that, until I physically collapse and my brain stops working and I'm like actually burnt out as fuck. And then I give myself a day off and then I start it all up again. And he literally says, that's not what I recommend. Do not be me. Like, this is not healthy what I'm doing. I just have something inside me that's broken, that's like obsessive. Don't be me. But people will look at that and go, but he has the fame and the success and I want that. And so all of this is to say, if you want to start a YouTube channel or be an influencer, like go for it. But it isn't an easy, it's not that it's not easy, but it isn't like a quick way of getting money. It is far easier to just go up to strangers and be like, hey, if I play you a song on my guitar, will you give me $5? If I take a photo of you, will you give me $5? If I write a book and sell that, if I don't know, fucking do some drop shipping or something. If I go on Fiverr and learn some skills, learn video editing, learn
Fiverr is especially Fiverr would be the place
is how I would.
People. Yeah. Not that you're gonna make your fucking money forever on there, but you're gonna get the experience you need. Like that's what really we're pushing.
Fiverr is an expensive.
Yeah, but even then,
you could literally build your own business.
Even then, you want to control. Like I feel like you probably want to control your marketing a bit stronger than just.
I see what you're saying. Sure.
Yeah, eventually, I'm just saying that like. If we're giving advice to guys who are just starting, we don't care how much money you make in the beginning. Like we just care you're getting experience, like, and that you're giving yourself like.
It's all a learning lesson.
Yeah, because you're going to learn the stuff that we can't tell you. That's the problem with starting businesses. I don't understand how there are so many there are probably some very good business gurus, but there are probably tons of business gurus who are jumping in to give advice on stuff they actually don't know much about. So they're giving people very generic like advice that you can get for free on the internet or whatever. And like, every guy starting like something that's a relatively new business, you're not going to have a complete pathway to building that business to where you want it to be. And you're just going to have to figure out a lot of stuff. And you're going to have to like get a lot of experience in areas that people haven't had that much experience before you. So it's one of those things where like, that's why the whole point of this video is just get fucking started and like get fucking comfortable with the basic skills of having to run one. Yeah. Give yourself permission to suck. Yeah. And run towards your anxiety and fear with regards to money and helping people or whatever. Like there's some big ones. There's like the fear of asking for money, the fear of letting clients down. There's some later on you're gonna have
doing a bad job.
Later on you're gonna have to fire clients at some point. At some point you're gonna have to fire or tell clients you don't want to work with them again. That was really scary for me. Like what are the things that were scary for you? Like some people are terrified of email and phone correspondence. Like you need to be relatively okay at doing that. I can't think of any businesses where you don't need to do those things, but maybe some high-end tech stuff.
I was terrified to ask for money. That's always been the scariest thing for me. And then terrified every time I put my prices up, which I've put my price up like 100 times.
And then
like it probably is 100 times over the last like 3 years.
Dealing with people telling you that you're too expensive, like actually having people criticize you for your
prices.
That
actually really surprisingly has basically only happened like 5 times ever with our.
It's because you don't hear it.
We don't really.
A lot of the time, it doesn't get to you a lot of the time. But there will be people talking behind your back and stuff like that about your prices, or they'll just say, "Oh, he's way expensive. I can't afford it. I don't know why he's charging that much." It's like we know why, because the value is high. Like that's the whole point. You know what I mean?
Because we're changing your life. Yeah. And I'm not going to sit here and justify the price. The price is what it is because you're changing the rest of your life. Yeah. Bottom line is get started. Get started. Don't worry about being perfect. Give yourself permission to suck. Yeah, and I wouldn't even be thinking far ahead. Like a lot of what we said in this podcast here is us just like talking. We're just casually chatting, obviously. But we've talked about 10,000 things that I really wouldn't be worrying about when you're starting a business or starting, like you said, a side hustle or making a bit of money. I wouldn't be worried about fears. I wouldn't be worried about putting up your price. I wouldn't be worried about like, how do I make 1 million subscribers? Like, don't worry about any of that shit. Go make $1. Every single person right now, if you've even thought about making a little bit of extra money, go outside today, go make $1. I don't care how you do it, as long as you do it with honesty and integrity.
And not breaking the law,
But
obviously.
yep, yeah.
Just to put that disclaimer
I
out
care
there.
less, like obviously for legal disclaimers, but I never really give a fuck about the law. And by that I don't mean like I go around breaking laws, but I'm gonna always align myself with ethics and honesty and integrity and like kindness and compassion. That's a better moral benchmark for me than laws. A lot of law, like it's completely legal for the government to be like, hey, give me 45% of your income. It's like, that's not moral though. So
You've convinced me.
yeah, don't break
You've
any
convinced
laws
me.
for a
Go
legal
go
fine.
deal meth, everybody. That is how you're going to make your first
That breaks
$1,050.
a moral and ethical framework for me though. It's
What,
not
dealing
kind
meth?
to, yeah, it's not kind to other people. So I always bring it back to like kindness, compassion, honesty, and integrity. Anyway, getting off topic here. Everyone listening, if you care about making some money, go make $1 right now. Literally, go up to strangers and say, can I have $1? Congratulations, you've just made $1. And people go, that's not the same thing. It's like, shut the fuck up. What do you know? You haven't built a business. That was very kind and compassionate of me. But seriously, like, shut the fuck up and do as you're told. Quote that. Quote that. That was a joke, but someone fucking quote that and be like, Andy, shut the fuck up and do as you're told, coming from Captain Libertarianism. But being serious, I'm obviously being silly, but being serious, go outside, make $1, just ask random strangers for money. And you might think like, but that doesn't translate to running a business. It's like, no, that is a skill that you learn in business though, which is like asking for money. Like you do have to ask for money, or you can phrase that as like, you do have to offer a service and then say, this is how much that costs. That's still asking for money. And so if you can learn the skill of asking a random stranger for $1, then you can quickly upsell that to like move that up to, okay, what if I give them more value and then I can ask for more money? Like if I'm going up to random strangers and saying, can I have $1? And some of them say yes. What if I was to walk up to random strangers and say, hey, if I tell you a really funny joke and I make you laugh, would you give me $2? And some of them will say yes. You'll tell them a funny joke. They'll give you $2. Congratulations. You just learned how to upsell, like how to offer more value and get more money in return. And so then from there, okay, if I take a cool photo of you with my expensive camera or my cool camera, would you give me $5? If I, like we've had plenty of friends do this. If I clean your house, if I clean your driveway, if I mow your lawn, would you give me $20?
That's the stuff I would tell people to do. That's the stuff I would tell people to do. Yeah. I feel like
there are going to
be people. There are going to be people who are against what you want, what you're saying, because they don't want to beg, and they have like an actual like they have like a thing of I will never beg.
Then offer something.
See, that's what I mean. That's what I would say. Like have something to offer. Like the guy who was offering photography, the guy who's offering guitar lessons. I think the majority of guys do want to offer a service. Yeah. That's what I would say.
I'll tell you a joke. You give me $1 if I make you laugh. Yeah,
that's a good one. Yeah, I mean,
hell, you could even do something like this. I've done stuff like this. Walk up to people like. There's just money around you all the time, constantly. But yeah, just walk up to people. I did this when I was a kid. Walk up to people and say, or knock on your neighbor's doors. Get your dad to, you wouldn't be watching this channel if you're under 18, but knock on your neighbor's doors and say, hey, if I mow your lawn, would you give me like $10 or $5?
That's a great one.
Hey, your gutters are dirty. I'll clean them for you for $5. I'm just trying to earn a little bit of money. You can even tell people your vision. Say like, I'm trying to start a business. I want to start really small and humble. I'm just trying to get a bit of experience. If I clean your driveway, would you give me $5? If I shovel your snow, would you give me $5? Like literally, I'm just trying to help out my neighbors and I want to get a bit of money in the process. Like what jobs can I do for you around the house that you'd give me like $5 or $10? And you just slowly raise that price. And as you get more money, you just reinvest it back into the business. You know, you get a little uniform, you get some cleaning equipment, you pay to have some decals put on your car so that it looks like a professional company car. You just like slowly reinvest back in the business. We have like 15 friends, 20 friends that have all started this. This is how they've built their money and their income. They've literally just started
six-figure companies. Yeah,
six-figure companies. Some of them are earning like 100,000. One of the guys is earning like $100,000 a month. I don't know if you know which one I'm referring to, but like there's a guy in that group who's earning like $100,000 because he cleans like companies now. He does corporate cleaning, but he just started out as like, can I clean your driveway? Can I clean your house? Can I like do your fucking gardening? So yeah, you can start a business by just offering.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will wrap up. I really didn't mean it before, by the way, when I said shut the fuck up and do as you're told. I hope that's obvious, but if
No, he
it's
meant
not,
it. He meant it, and you should listen to it. Don't let him get away with it.
what a nice, juicy shot of motivation when it comes to making money. Check out what these absolute legends have done in our coaching program. Laz more than doubled his monthly income from 25,000 US dollars a month to 45K a month. Dimitri started his own business and earned his first $500 within his first 2 months. Ravi followed in my footsteps and created his own kick-ass coaching business, motivating other people and changing the world. Joe started his own successful photography and dating business, quitting his job and earning tons of money, all while helping guys get the dating life they've always dreamed of. None of these people are special. Come and join our coaching program and have us save you years of figuring out the business world yourself. You deserve to have money. You deserve to have a big, sexy, fat bank account, and we'd love to help you make that happen. Click the link in the description below to the coaching program. We can't wait to see you there.